Hello and welcome back to Keys and Contracts. I hope your 2024 is going great so far. You already know I like to talk about saving money. I talk about no down payment loans. I talk about saving money up front, how you can do that. You have likely heard me talk about MMP, which is the Maryland Mortgage Program. And you also heard me say that I plan to break down the program in a few videos. So in this video, we're going to cover why you may not want to use MMP. Now, here's a disclaimer. I'm all for using grants, loans, no down payment loans, and all that kind of stuff when it makes sense, when you actually need it, when you look at the numbers and it's going to make sense for you. And that's just like buying a house in general. If you're going to buy a house, it has to make sense for you. Just like the famous question, when is it a good time to buy a house? And the answer is always. I'm a real estate agent and it's always a good time to buy a house because I know the market, I study the market, but that doesn't mean that it's a good time for you specifically. And for some people, it's not a good time because it's just not in your means at that point. So today I want to discuss 3 things you need to know before you get into using the Maryland Mortgage Program or anything, because when it's time to sell your house and certain things happen, you want to know beforehand. So really, this is more about education than trying to steer you one way or another, because you don't want surprises. You want to know all the facts before you make your decision. Let's get into it. All money is not free money. Most of the time, nobody is going to give you anything for free. They're going to get something out of it. So for these programs, most of the time, the interest rates are a little bit higher than the regular market interest rates. And it just depends on the program. Most of the programs carry a little bit of a higher interest rate. As I'm filming this, FHA rates are coming in at 6.15. MMP's lowest program, their loan was 6.125. So that was one program that is comparable to the FHA loan. The rest are between 6.375 and 8.125. I'm looking at the screen down here. And 8.125%. So depending on what program you use, you can have a much higher interest rate than you would have gotten if you did FHA or some kind of other government-backed loan. Now, the rates, just like the regular market rates, do change daily. So every single day they're posting the new rates. And for the most part, most of the programs are higher. You're going to be at a higher interest rate than you would have been otherwise. Another thing you need to know about using MMP or any of their programs is that it may take a little longer to actually close on that loan. Because you have other stipulations, because you're working through the state, it may take a little bit longer to actually close on that loan. So the time for closing, instead of it being 30 to 45 days, it may take a little longer to get those stipulations completed because you're definitely going to be working with an office that requires office hours and all that kind of stuff. So it may take a little longer. I believe the site says 2 to 3 days, allow 2 to 3 days more for processing, but in actuality, it could take a little bit longer. Is it worth the wait? For you, it could be. For you, it may not be worth the wait. And the problem there is when you're going against someone who has maybe a straight up FHA loan and does not have other stipulations that they have to meet to get their loan to close, they're going to pick that offer over your offer every single time. So when it's really, really competitive, it may make a difference. But when there's not many offers, they're not getting any offers, you put your offer in, they're going to probably accept it because they have nothing else to compare it to. But if it's a multiple offer situation, yours is going to rank a little bit lower than somebody who doesn't have any other stipulations. There are quite a few different ways to get money to purchase a home. MMP is not a grant. It's not a grant. It's not free money. It's actually a second loan that you're getting on your house. A second loan, a second lien on your purchase. What does that mean? Is there an interest rate on this loan? No, it's not an interest rate. And because it's going to cover, they could cover all of your closing or all of your down payment, it's going to be a much smaller loan than, of course, the loan that's on your house, but it is a second loan. So when you're getting ready to sell your house, you have to keep in mind that you do have a second loan on that property. But that's definitely something that you want to be aware of when you are doing, when you're using different programs, not only just MMP, you want to make sure that you're reading the fine print and know all of what you're getting into. You want to definitely use a realtor, and especially a lender that is knowledgeable about MMP. So that way, any questions that you ask, they can answer any fine print questions you may have, and then they're going to give you as much information as possible. This is why I also prefer when people come to me and they do not have a lender, because I trust my lenders. And it's really important to get with someone that's going to make your transaction a happy one, and not one that's going to be like, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. Some people don't even realize that their mortgage payment will go up. Their realtor, their lender doesn't even tell them that. So when they get into their house, they think that their mortgage is going to be the same forever, and it's just not that. So it's very important to get with someone that's going to give you all the facts, give you all the details when you're buying a house, so you can make the best decision possible. And there's a lot more I can go into as far as purchasing a house using MMP, but I'm going to stop it right here. And if you have questions about using the Mailer Mortgage Program or any MMP tools, you can feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you like, I could actually have one of my lenders pop on the podcast and we can have a guest. We are going to have a special guest next month for sure. So stay tuned. Concludes this episode of Keys and Contracts. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And I hope you're going to tune in next Thursday for the next Keys and Contracts episode. I will see you in the next video. Like I said, if you have comments, questions, I'm not taking any concerns. Put them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.